So I've decided to title this video, and it's going to be a bit of a surprise here to my guest today, but we're calling this "The Day I Sharked My Regional." Now this is a tale, a very long tale, and hopefully the truth can all come to light. But I don't know how willing Tony is to tell his truthful side of the story.
Tony still denies it to this day, bro.
So let's rewind. When did this regional happen? I think it was literally last year.
Pepe
around this
format.
time.
No, it wasn't Pepe.
No, it was Metalfoes format with
Oh yeah, the Mermail one, right? Okay.
it must have been
It was
this.
Metalfoe ABC format around Bochum last
Yeah,
year.
it was like INOV format last year. So like late 2016. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's around 4 or 5 at a regional. Me and Tony are both XO at this point. I think 3-0 or 4-0. And we play a Metalfoe mirror match. Of course, Tony goes first. Wins the dice roll. But before the match, I
It's
explicitly...
50-50, but of course I go first, obviously.
I explicitly clarify to Tony, and I say to him, Tony, I am not going to let you do any takebacks. I'm not going to let you think for too long, because Tony has this habit of staring at one card in his hand and taking 10 minutes to decide whether he should summon tour guide or not. So I explicitly told Tony, you're not going to time waste or take back play, because Tony has this habit of misplaying and then saying, oh, well, obviously I would do that. Like, for example,
Mate, who even are you?
Listen. So Tony would do something like Construct goes to the graveyard, and then a new chain will happen, and then he'll do a bunch of plays, and then he'll say, oh, by the way, Construct, add back Shadow Fusion. And then you say, no, it's too late. And then Tony will usually say something like, oh, but of course I add back the Shadow Fusion. Yeah, of course you do, Tony, but you just fucking forgot. Right, but Tony, like, that's how Tony, like, his brain works, okay? So I told him, none of that, pish. All right? Anyway, so let's begin. We're sitting down for a Metalfoe mirror match. Tony does a bunch of Metalfoe plays. He's popping his scales, he's setting the traps, he's setting the fusion, he's doing all these things. Tony pops a Bismugear. As soon as he pops Bismugear, I sort of lean over the table and I kind of go, oh, Tony, what were you setting there? Okay, so he sets Full Metalfoe's fusion. He doesn't declare Bismugear effect. So he continues his turn, does a bunch of stuff, and then it comes to the end phase. Oh, this is the most brutal end phase I have ever been in my life. And then Tony goes, Bismugear effect. And then I say, no, Tony, you didn't declare Bismugear. Would you like to tell your side of the story here, Tony? Am I correct so far? Is that okay with you?
Literally nothing of what you said actually happened.
The cycle begins anew. Tell me your side of the story, Tony.
Oh my god.
Right, so what actually happened, right? What?
Can I just say he's denying this part? We haven't even got to the good bit yet.
The good bit, okay, whatever, right. So, what? I don't even know how you can think that this even happened, but point is though, right,
Start from the beginning, tell me your side.
Right, for one, I mean, there's no way that we were both X1 at this, or XO at this point, because I know that whoever lost this game wasn't going through to top, so because we're both shit, so let's not kid ourselves on there. I'm dragging you down if you're dragging me down.
I mean, that's what you said in the duel, but...
But regardless though,
because it comes to a point where we're
I do my stuff, right? So, I pop Bismugear, I fucking go Bismugear to him.
Oh my
really, he's not fucking paying attention.
Well, this is just a straight up fucking lie. I said Bismugear. No, you didn't, Tony. Yes, I did.
It's just straight up lie. Oh my god.
It's just a blatant vindictive lie, but okay, Tony.
Right, okay. Right, but here's the thing, right? Why would I lie about this? It doesn't make any sense.
Because you forgot to activate your monster's effect and misplayed. That's why you
or maybe just for a second, dear. Maybe you just didn't hear me.
I am not deaf, Tony. Do you know what? Do you know how I
Oh,
know you
wow.
didn't say anything? It was
Okay, how
because-
go on?
So remember how I mentioned that little sort of random interaction where I sort of
Well,
leaned...
where you tried to shark me, yeah.
What? I haven't sharked at this point.
Well, where you were actually cheating, yeah.
What? No. Okay, so Tony activates. He pops Bismuth gear with the other scale, and then sets something from his deck. As soon as he sets it from the deck, I ask him, "Oh, what did you set there?" Just as a way to detect whether or not he would pause and say, "Oh, by the way, Bismuth gear effect." And I was sitting there, and I asked you, "What did you set?" And you said, "Oh, Full Metal Almost Fusion."
Just to
And-
make a point though, right? So say that did happen, but say I
Say
then
it
went,
did
I'm
happen.
setting the
That-
trap or the spell, whatever.
That
and then I
is
went,
what
Oh yeah,
happens.
and Bismuth and then you were to say, oh, sorry, you didn't say Bismuth before you searched. At that point, you'd have got a warning, no questions asked.
For what?
If you called a judge over and then over that like fucking microscopic discrepancy, try to call somebody on that.
Can't add.
Right. Okay. The point is, we're not dealing with
Until after you
hypotheticals.
set the card anyway.
What?
You can't activate Bismuth until after you've set the card anyway, because the chain hasn't resolved. You didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's the thing. He doesn't say Bismuth gear. I said Bismuth gear. No, you didn't, Tony. You fucking liar. Anyway, right. So let's just agree to disagree. I'm saying Tony did not absolutely in any shape or form utter the
Nadir-
words Bismuth gear.
Nadir, on purpose, asked Tony what he said to confuse him and make him forget. Bismuth.
Hang on. That's,
No, that is the legitimate reason why you asked.
no, it's because I did.
You admitted that.
It's because I didn't see
To
what
confuse them and make them forget.
It's the girl equivalent of like getting mugged and going, "What's that behind you?" And then
No,
fucking
but Tony,
running.
it actually worked.
So, Tony says that he declared Bismuth gear. I say he didn't. Okay, so that's part one of the story.
So they call
Right.
a judge.
Yep, this is the...
Judge.
So,
So Nadir turns around, raises. his
Jordan, are you
hand.
telling the story, Mike? So, I put my hand up and I call a judge. The judge comes over, and of course, it's one word against the others. So,
Did he not?
This-
Like before the judge came over.
John, shut the fuck up. The judge comes over. We explain our sides of the story. So the judge is obviously incompetent and has to call the head judge, Fraser, over. So the judge physically turns his body away from us and walks away to get the head judge. At this point in the duel, Tony reaches over the table, grabs my hand, and looks at my card. Bear in mind, I haven't played a single card at this point because he's on turn one. Tony grabs my full hand, looks at my hand, and then puts it down. So I scream, "Judge!" And the judge comes back, and I say to Judge, he just picked up my hand and looked at it. And then Tony goes, "No, I didn't! What are you talking about?" And I was just like, "Tony, shut the fuck up. You just picked up my hand and looked at it." And then Tony's like, "Who are you? I don't know this guy." So I asked the people around it, "Did any of you guys see that?" And then someone beside us says, "Yeah, he just picked up his hand." The judge says, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes and gets the head judge. So Fraser comes over. So the head judge deals with our situation. He talks to both of us. He gets our sides of the story. The witness tells him that he saw
Witness.
Tony pick
Not a
up
credible
my
witness.
hand and look at it.
Fucking.
Hang on,
plan.
you'll get your side of the story in a second. So he denies it to the judge, of course. The judge just gives us both a... I can't remember what it was that we got. I think it was probably like just a generic warning, whatever. So we continue to do and blah, blah. But the funny thing is that after the event, after the tournament, like when we're in town getting food, Tony continues to deny this to everyone. I tell everyone, Tony picked up my hand, looked at it. He saw Gofu, 3 Metal Foes, Maxi, and something else. I remember it like really well. And then he just denies it forever. And that's the story. of Tony and idolatry. Now go on, Tony. Tell your side of the story from the Bismugear point onwards.
You forgot the bit. You forgot the bit where you go, "Oh no, don't worry, Judge. We're just friends. We're just messing about." And then Tony just looks at the judge, as serious face as possible, and
stone cold face.
I have never
no
met
emotion.
this boy in my life.
No emotion. No sign of anything.
In my life.
Dead serious face. Looks at the judge, says, "I don't know who this guy is." Right, Tony. Go on. Tell us your story.
I don't know even. There's just so much this story that you've just fabricated out of nothing. It's. So like, I don't know who the fuck that you were in cahoots with across the other table. That fucking.
Oh, hang on. So you are admitting someone did admit that this happened, right?
Tony.
What? No, I'm saying that
Tony.
you were fucking, I don't know, winking to some cunt against the other side of the table or whatever.
So someone
some
did-
rabbit and grassing bastard that's like, "Yes, Judge, I seen him."
So someone did.
Tony.
So someone did tell the judge this. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, I'm not
Okay.
denying
Tony,
that.
we
So you-
literally,
Okay.
Tony, we literally sat down to dinner, a nice meal in Prague, and you admitted to looking at the deer's hand.
Why is everybody fucking lying? Are you in bed with the deer as well?
You did! We asked you point blank, did you do it on purpose? And you were like, yeah, of course I
What do you
did.
mean on purpose? How do you accidentally grab someone's hand and look at it? So all right. So what happened?
Oh my
What happened
God.
after the Bismugear search, Tony? Like step by step, what happened?
Okay, so Bismugear search, you call over a judge because I don't know, like you're scared I'm going to fucking OTK or something next turn, and then so you call a judge over and you say you go blah, blah blah blah. You spout a whole load of shit about me not declaring Bismugear or whatever, and then obviously I'm like, well, obviously I did. You just didn't hear me,
Okay.
and right, because why would I not declare it?
Because you're
And
stupid.
then
You're just doing that exact thing the deer says you do.
I know, right?
Of course I did it. Why would I not?
Why would
oh no, I wouldn't have.
Because you're stupid and you forgot, you imbecile.
Oh, imbecile! Right, nice ad hominem arguments, great.
You fucking misplayed and you forgot. That's what you do. Like you do.
I misplayed, Mr. fucking Table 500 over here. I misplayed.
You used to do this all the time in Monarch format, like constantly forgetting return searches and then saying like, "Oh, of course I'm gonna search my return." Like, no, you didn't declare it. Right. So what happened to the judge? Like, what happened like with that sort of?
Right, so obviously, I mean, you know what? Fair enough. I'll agree with you on this one. The judge was completely incompetent and somehow didn't know how to deal with this situation. So
Okay.
calls over Fraser.
Right.
And then at that point, you think you can get away with it. Well, if the judge isn't directly looking at me, I'll just scream something obscene, like I fucking looked at your hand or some shit. And then, I don't know why, maybe it's because you're famous or something, but the other guy's like, "Yes, judge, I seen it." I don't know, maybe you just done something like you flashed your hand at him so it made it look like he seen the cards or some shit, but I don't know.
All right. So that's really where
Why did
our
you tell
story.
the judge that you'd never met in the deer in your life?
Yeah. Did you tell the judge that, Tony?
Yeah, you fucking ask him, he'll deny that happened as well.
Oh, Tony's gonna say the fucking Earth's flat next.
No idea.
Well, that's the tale of our of where our stories diverge. So,
Is your Twitch still Glasgow YGO?
no.
Inconclusive.
So basically, Tony forgets the Bismugear search. He says he didn't forget it. He says he openly declared it, and then thereafter, I claim.
I declared it twice.
All right, chill the fuck. We went from 0 to 2 to fucking what the hell? So he
I declared it 5 times.
I said it 5 times. What do you mean? Of course I would say it. Maxie. So Tony says he declared the Bismugear. I say he didn't. Tony looked at my hand, grabbed it, looked at my hand, and then put it down. And then, well, Tony's side of the story says this completely didn't happen. And some random guy who's like my fan decided to be a witness to an imaginary case that didn't happen. You decide, guys. Comment down below who you think is right or wrong here. Hashtag Team Farfa or Team.
Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? Why am I not in jail?
Feel free to PayPal me £500 to get Tony out of bail. And that is the tale of the day I sharked my regional. Thanks for watching.
Hashtag Tony didn't do it.
Fucking free Tony, mate.
Tony
Right, now
did
that we're not
nothing
on
wrong.
camera, Tony,